Hi, here's Michael Leander. I'm in Delhi, and as I've mentioned in some of the other videos, if you've seen them, there's so many interesting, smart, and accomplished people here, and I managed to get one of them to sit here with us for a little while. Her name is Tanvi Bhatt, I think is how you pronounce it. She's very accomplished in a number of areas, including personal branding. And we're going to hear from her now what that is all about, why it matters, and how you should address it. So, Tanvi, why don't you introduce us to you first?
Thank you. Yes, Michael, it's Tanvi Bhatt. Okay, do I really need this? I don't think it's working any which way. All right, okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanvi Bhatt, like Michael said it. I evangelize personal branding in India. As a concept, personal branding is still largely unheard of across the Indian subcontinent. And being one of the pioneers to bring this so erstwhile known as Western concept of promoting yourself and managing your career, it's beginning to take roots in India, and I'm sure it's going to go a long, long way. What I do, to cut the long story short, is I empower leaders to become thought leaders and thought leaders to become icons. Thought leadership is what drives a brand to become a legacy, and that's where I partner with business leaders, entrepreneurs, CXOs, aspiring CXOs, promoters, owners of organizations who are typically brand ambassadors of the organization, and they really need to step out of shadows of invisibility, take control of who they are, what people know about them, and let their brands be celebrated. So that's what I do with my clients. I help them celebrate their brandsomeness, is what I like to call
Their
it.
brandsomeness,
Yes.
That's a great one. But listen, not to be the devil's advocate or anything, but I know a lot of CEOs for very successful companies. And I think when we talk about personal branding, don't we very often think about artists and people who are very extrovert and so on?
Yep.
How do you make someone who's introvert, is not a sales marketing person, believe in the possibility of building a personal brand and then connecting that personal brand with the business brand that the person represents?
Right. So thank you for asking this. It's believed that personal branding is only for the flamboyant breed. Introverts have nothing to do with personal branding. It's not their cup of tea. But you will be surprised at how many introverts have benefited from the value proposition of taking control of their authenticity and sharing that with the world. It's a complete different self-esteem boost, because you know that this is what makes you unique. This is what makes you absolutely inimitable and irresistible as a professional. So imagine what is that going to do to your morale and ego boost. It helps take the introvert, to some other level. They really break out of that shell, if so to use a cliche, and are able to take their visibility, their network to another level. Because then they know exactly who they are, what they do, how they are unique as a professional, as a person, and what exclusive value add they do to the organization and moreover society.
That's very interesting. So they are able to connect. They do understand that by creating that brand or making that individual better known, sort of a thought leader kind of thing, it also benefits the company that they're representing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a company is a composite of multiple thought leaders in the organization, and that is what gives rise to the organization's thought leadership. So as we say, they are your brand assets. Without them, what is the thought leadership of the organization going to be?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It is born out of the thought leaders in the organization, and that is what needs to be celebrated. And hence today, I wouldn't even say 3 years down the line, I would say rather today, corporate branding is absolutely incomplete without celebrating the thought leaders of the organization by helping these leaders to build their leadership brands.
Very well said. So I have a couple of other questions, one of which is, if we imagine in a CXO who is not a shareholder or owner of a given company, what is having a personal brand or being somewhat of a thought leader, what does that do for an individual's career, do you think?
First, it helps him position himself absolutely uniquely, different from a lot of other models out there who probably have the same bookload of degrees, experience profiles, portfolios of organizations, industries that they've worked for. But their personal brand is something which is a beautiful mosaic of all these things plus who they are as a person. what are their aspirations, what are their passions, everything that they want to do is funneled it down to build their personal brand capital. So that is what it helps them acknowledge, communicate, and celebrate along with the world.
So
That is what takes them to stand out, rise up, and start building a legacy that people will actually love to celebrate.
So they will become more valuable to their
Yes.
existing organization, but also in the advent that somebody wanted to get to them and hire them, for example, their value would also increase
Yeah.
because they have a personal brand. Is that correct?
Absolutely. They would position themselves as the go-to guys, go-to experts of their particular domain's industry. That will itself create a brand pull towards them, because then if you have something like data analytics, because you're talking about data in 3 days, who's the best guy for data analytics in the retail industry? If you position yourself as somebody who does this, then the first person which comes to your mind is going to be Mr. X. But, he's positioned himself. He's been constantly adding selfless value to the entire community, helping them understand data, analyze it better and better. So clarity about brand positioning and constantly adding value to the community, it's going to help him be in the forefront of the race, the rat race.
So just the last question is, so when you work with somebody, let's say somebody who is relatively unknown,
Yeah.
maybe the company he works for, she works for, is or isn't, doesn't matter, relatively unknown, the person approaches you and says, I want to become a brand, I want to be a personal brand, help me, what do you do?
Well, of course, I will take him because it would be a challenge. It would be more challenging to help him understand that, listen, it's going to be even more difficult for you to build your personal brand and visibility because the organization you work for is not very well known. But that is not really the yardstick by which we measure the success of a person's brand visibility or management. Because what happens is people like him can use personal branding as a tool to do surrogate corporate branding as well. So the more forums, online, offline, the more networks, people, communities he's going to be visible in, the corporate brand would automatically be piggybacking on his shoulders.
Right.
So it's win-win for both.
So you would create a plan, right, and cover
Yes.
all those bases.
Absolutely, I'll
Yeah.
cover all those areas where he, as a professional, would benefit for his personal branding, plus the corporate brand also. Yeah, of course, I'll charge him double as well because I'm doing both the things, corporate branding plus personal branding.
That's not sure that's so nice, but I get
Yeah,
your
just kidding.
point.
No, but yes,
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make is that there is a direct as well as indirect benefit for the individual as well as the organization. Personal branding plus corporate branding happening at the cost of fun.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so
Yes.
much. And to you listening, if you want to get in touch with Tanvi, I'm not sure where you're watching this video, but there should be some links somewhere around here or inside the video, so you can go to her LinkedIn page and her homepage/blog and learn more about how she can help you. So thank you for watching and have a great day today and, of course, all the other days.